Hot damn ho, here they go again, disrespecting the fans when they know they can't win. What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Guys, Season 2 of Amazon's Rings of Power is in full swing. I haven't been watching it. I actually didn't watch Season 1, maybe like 1 or 2 episodes at best. But Season 2 is in full swing. Some people say that there's been an improvement here. I would not know. But the vast majority of critics that are actual fans of Tolkien's work that you see here online, I mean, you see that this is not above some very harsh criticism. Let's just say that. Let's be fair about this. That's what it is. Okay, so what we have here in this article that I'm dealing with is the concept of hate watching. Okay, hate watching is something that is said to be done when people choose to watch a show or a production solely for the purpose of doing a video about it, to rag on it, or to write about it, or something like that. In other words, critics, right? They have now termed this to be hate watching because it's either got to be you love it or you hate it, but you can't be objectively critical about it. Otherwise, you will be called a hater. So that's the concept we've been dealing with, guys. We've been seeing this now for like the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years or so, where you cannot objectively critique a show that might lean towards the negative, because there are going to be negative and positives of every production that you see. But if you say that it's like a majority of negative things that's going on here, then yeah, you're going to be labeled to be a hater. So the hate watching is simply people who watch a show and they find the things that's not good about the show and they make content about it, whether it is videos, whether it's writing or whatever. And they reach out to the other viewers to let them know, listen, these are some of the things that you might find. Now, to me, that's fair, because one of the things that I realized is that with The Last Jedi, what really, really struck me is that before the movie came out, all of the critics, 100% of the critics on Rotten Tomatoes said it was the best Star Wars movie ever. I saw not one objective critique of that movie. It was a classic, 100% agreed upon, right? So when I saw it, I realized, man, there is no balance here whatsoever. I wanted my money back because I actually went into the movies at that time, right? Things have changed now, but I went into the movies at that time based on the overwhelming, almost unanimous word of the critics who said this was the greatest movie ever. So things had to change. But of course, the industry, they weren't objecting to that phenomenon where before the movie came out, everybody said it was great. But now, when the material comes out and people say, this is terrible, now you have a problem. Now you have those pesky YouTubers. I'll get you yet, YouTubers. Next time. Who knows what that's from? So anyway, yeah. So you got that going on. So the concept here is hate watching. So I'm looking at this article on the Hollywood Reporter, and you have the showrunner for Rings of Power, and they're talking about what's been going on with the show. Now, there's a lot of hardcore Tolkien fans out there who are not satisfied with what they've been doing as far as the Rings of Power. They say they're taking certain liberties as far as changing the lore and everything. Once again, I wouldn't know that. I love the Peter Jackson films. That's about as far as it goes for me. I really love them. I have all of the extended, DVD box sets and all of that stuff. I love it. A masterpiece, right? But when I did sit down to watch Rings of Power, I just wasn't impressed, man. I wasn't. But you do have people who are hardcore fans of that material who cried foul about a lot of things. So you have the showrunner now taking a little jab at what he calls the concept of hate watching. People who just come on there just to bash it in their videos or articles. And this is in the Hollywood Reporter, so I do want to read the statement about what he said. I'm going to give my take on that, and you can give your take in the comment section. Now, of course, this series here, I can't believe this. They're saying this series cost $715 million, or as Robert Downey Jr. would call it, lunch money. But it debuted 2 years ago to strong ratings and fandom discord. Unveiled the first 4 episodes of the new season. They're talking about season 2. The consensus is that this new run is firmly an improvement, and I've heard that, but some critics and fans maintain it's not as strong as it should be. All right, so it says the Rotten Tomato scores are similar to the first season, a very good 83% among critics and a disappointing 58% among fans, some percentage of whom seem angrily determined to watch every episode while simultaneously insisting the show is unwatchable, helping feed a cottage industry of rings-bashing content creators. Once again, those pesky writers, those pesky YouTubers, how dare they make money critiquing this material? Okay, so let's go on to what the showrunner thinks about this. Now, we're talking about J.D. Payne, and he says, the Fellowship, meaning the production team, had to look at each other and those who support it and remember what it's fighting for. Now, he goes on to say, well, he's the showrunner along with Patrick McKay. And when we see that millions of people are watching this and responding so positively to it, that's who we're fighting for. And those who watch every episode and negatively write about it on social media and make YouTube videos, hey, we're happy to have you guys too, he says. It wouldn't be a journey throughout Middle Earth without some trolls along the way. Oh, he cooked, he roasted, he did that thing. Oh, he ate that. Oh! Basically, what he's saying is we welcome the hate watching because you're watching. So, and I've heard that critique before, outsiders, who want to judge the YouTubers and these writers. They say, well, hate watching is still watching. It's like you're giving them ratings. So what are you really doing by hate watching except helping to make their show a success? Now, I don't know about you, but I say this level of arrogance we've seen before. Okay. In response to those who critique a show, right? When they say that the show isn't everything that it should be, keep in mind, these people usually are hardcore fans. They're people who are familiar with the source material. So when they watch what you're doing and they see that you're taking certain liberties to the expense of the story, because of course we all know that bringing something from the page to the screen, there are going to be some changes that are made, right? Realistically, you can expect that. But when you do that to the cost of the overall narrative of the story, then you're hurting the story in a way that can really impact that story in a satisfying way. Recently, we heard George R.R. Martin making his statements about House of the Dragon and how he felt that there were certain liberties and changes that they took that took away from the original narrative that he created. So, I mean, he's not a troll. He's the creator. So usually when people have this, critique of something and they want to be, they want to have constructive criticism, it's not something that should be, just totally disregarded as a troll, so to speak. But like I said, we've seen this arrogance before. We saw it with the Acolyte. Of course, we saw, what's her name, do the whole video, Amanda Stenberg, that whole discourse, all of that. They love to mock people. We saw this with Kevin Smith with his He-Man Revelation thing, when he was responding to the critics. Oh, we're safe as kittens. We're safe as kittens. And then, of course, he had to face the facts. The facts is that the fans, the customers, are always right. You know what I mean? So this is not the own that this guy thinks it is. We're happy to have you guys too. It wouldn't be a journey through Middle Earth without some trolls along the way. Because these people who are hate watching the show, the content creators, those pesky YouTubers, they represent, for each one of those, they represent thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of people who will say, based upon their assessment, we will pass on this altogether. So you can't afford to just flippantly dismiss these people who are telling you that there's something wrong. Of course, they've chosen at this point, and a lot of us have chosen to clown your stuff because you spent over $700 million to create something that honestly is shit, so you should be clowned. I mean, come on, bro. It's like you're spending all of this money and you've hijacked the name of Lord of the Rings, and you're not even doing what you should be doing with that material. You're not honoring that material. Now, when I watched it, I noticed that they went out of their way to do the whole diversity and inclusion thing. But I give it a chance. It's like, it's not that I just see it and just turn away from it. Like the I don't even know what her name is or the character, but the heavy-set black woman who's in there playing what is she playing? Is she playing a troll? Is she playing no, she's not playing an orc, right? Whatever she's playing, you know who I'm talking about, the one who they had on the cover of every magazine, right? When I watched it, she actually came across okay. You know what I mean? So it's not just hating for the sake of hating. It's like, okay, I watched it. She wasn't phoning it in. She wasn't there just to be there. She wasn't just being a token, or she made the most of her role. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? So it's not like you just hate things just to hate it. But when people who are familiar with that material, they have a real concern, it shouldn't just be a matter of, it's just some trolls, or it's just some throwaway people, because believe me, they represent a much, much larger audience. That's what we're here for. We started this because there had to be balance. As I said with the whole Last Jedi thing, you have on this side of the industry, once again, as shown by the Rotten Tomatoes score, you have the industry and the paid industry shills over here who are saying this is the greatest thing ever. 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. We love it. Well, what's a casual viewer to do at that point? When they don't love it, we get in front of our cameras and we tell the truth. That's what it is. And that is what they're objecting to. So, guys, while it is tempting to just completely dismiss the concept of hate watching, and I've done that myself, I've been like, listen, my time is short. I can't do that. I can't just watch something for the sake of just hating it. And I know that I'm going to hate it. To me, that is a waste of time. But I can't knock people who are doing that, because there has to be a balance. That's what I'm saying. Let there be a balance. So that's my thoughts on that. The whole concept of hate watching. Guys, what do you think about that? Do you think that hate watching is just pathetic? You just laugh at people who do it? Do you think that they're just defeating the purpose because they're feeding into it? Or do you understand a little bit or agree with what I'm saying in that it simply represents a balance? You can get in the comment section. As always, you can tell me how you feel about this. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe if you want to contribute to the channel. Of course, you can hit the super thanks feature on the video and each and every video that I do if you want to support the channel and what I do, because YouTube does not give me that push. So I do appreciate each and every one of you who do that. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.